Welcome back to Rabbit Culture of Narcissist Ninjas over here on a Saturday night for me. Don't know when you're tuning in, but I'm so humbled that you clicked on this video. And I'm talking about flying monkeys, which are very important to the narcissist. And again, please come and visit us over at our page on Facebook, where we are learning and growing over there all the time, trying to cope as best as possible with this stain of narcissism that has been put upon us, some of us more so than others. And what my goal is that I like to share any bit of information that I have so that it can get out there. Hopefully someday this will get into a family's life and prevent a child especially from being afflicted with this mess. As you see here, the phrase flying monkeys comes from the movie Wizard of Oz, right? Remember the flying monkeys around? Don't tell me, will I do this again? Put a link to the video below. I might do it. If I can find it, I always take notes when I'm doing this. Let me see if I can find a link of that movie and put it below, just so you can get the reference. Sometimes it's good to know the reference. And like I said, when we're learning about narcissism, we learn all these phrases. I mean, I've heard about flying monkeys since I saw the movie, right? But I didn't understand that it was attached to the term narcissism or narcissistic abuse. I will link some videos below, again, of other narcissistic abuse educators. And I have an article that I liked that really explained it well. And I'll do my little part here, which I find is ridiculous. The flying monkeys are sometimes even more ridiculous than the narcissists themselves. So I look at it as there are two types of flying monkeys, or narcissistic abuse enablers. And they are the people that are in the narcissist circle who know that they are enabling, and those who literally don't have a clue. They are unaware of narcissistic abuse. They are unaware that they are being used as a tool to harm others. And basically, flying monkeys are considered those around a narcissist who allow abuse to continue, who are in denial of some way, or just are not exposed to it. Narcissists with double lives can put on such wonderful masks that people literally don't see their behavior. They act differently in front of people. So in different people. So they can be sweet and caring to one person and go and abuse people, privately. And particularly, so then you say, well, geez, anyone can be an abuser, or anyone can be a narcissistic abuser. Actually, quite frankly, that is true. And that's why it's important to really dig in to people that you know and that you have around you, so that you are not subjected to this, and so that you are not being used as a tool for abuse on somebody else. And we see this a lot on the internet. We see it so much, where people, certain people develop a certain following, and then, others just agree with everything they say because they like that influencer or person who's a celebrity or whatever. But sometimes as well, it can be good to have these groups of people so that you can identify systems of beliefs and patterns of beliefs, so that you kind of know who to stay away from. So if you see, like I noticed on the internet, particularly this year with all the political jargon and the political war that was going on, and the unrest, you could see people repeating the same phrases, the same statistics, even if they weren't correct or accurate, or people had no idea what they were saying. They would literally take phrases that they saw elsewhere, not even understanding where they came from, what they meant, if they were true, if they were false, and they would just like group think it and start to pass that information on. So basically, it's people that do often, flying monkeys are often people who do not have a core, honest to goodness, a solid understanding of who they are, so they don't have their own thought process, so that they need to carry on the processes of other people and the thoughts of other people. So a biggest way of narcissists of gathering up flying monkeys and support around them is by lying, because oftentimes they are working with a person that is vulnerable and not like them. So they don't have the kind of stories that narcissists create. Like, we have tales of abuse, tales of all kinds of laws being broken, all these different things when it comes to narcissists. But oftentimes, I mean, not always, but most of the time, they are dealing with people that are vulnerable, who are sensitive, empaths, and not the evil monsters that they are. They usually don't pick evil monsters. They know better. Number one, they're afraid of them. Number two, they know that they can't manipulate people that are like themselves. It's harder. So they end up choosing people that are easily preyed upon. And I'm just thinking, in my case, my most recent case with my ex 2 years ago, his flying monkeys were his sister and his daughter. And that's it, basically, because I didn't know anyone else. Well, then in the end, it became his current person that I caught him in bed with, and they lied about that. And that's all they know how to do is lie, and it's ugly. It's these people don't care. They have no sense of empathy, and they don't care about making up stories. They don't care about going to court and lying That's the biggest thing I found out when I was in court sitting across. I've said this before in other videos, is that I was just, it took the wind out of me. Like it was like I couldn't breathe. I looked over and saw a different person. This person who I thought was the love of my life was actually an evil psychopath. And you don't see it until you see it. But once you do see it, and you see the types of relationships they have around them, you cannot unsee it. Once it's out, it's out. So this is the perfect image of the flying monkeys and the smear campaign. If the narcissist can get enough people on their side to believe them or to enact the system. In my case, I truly believe that the judge in my case was part of the smear campaign. She just took an instant dislike to me. I don't know if it was because I was female, I was an immigrant, I was older, and I could stand up for myself. I don't know what it was, but she took an instant dislike to me, and he charmed her. So I was at a loss in the courtroom because I had gone in there without a lawyer, and I wasn't aware of what was happening, right? Until I got there. And anyway, it ended up that I ended up getting a lawyer, and I got a lot of support, and ended up that, you know, it all came out that he was lying, that he was manifesting a case. Now, in order for me to go back, I was, you know, even the police involved, or at least one of them, suggested that I take him back to court for false allegations, right? But that is such a horrendous thing to do. Like, it would drag on. They told me it would take at least 2 years. It would have cost a lot of money. And to be honest, when it all came down to it, I realized I did not want to be tied to him for 2 more years. Sometimes, you know, going to court's not always the way. And, you know, it was a long story. But anyway, the smear campaign can infiltrate your whole world. And if you are Johnny Depp with all that money, I think it's very, very courageous and a good idea to take your accuser to court for slander, for the mental anguish and abuse that they are inflicting on you. Unfortunately, in this country, our laws are not that advanced. Now, I notice over in England, they are a little more advanced, even though his case didn't get coverage over there well. But they do have laws over there where it's actually illegal to mentally abuse people. So in actuality, your flying monkeys can be extremely ugly. They have no soul, or sometimes they are just being used. They have no identity, and they're being used to smear and to bring abuse your way because they have no sense of identity themselves. When it comes down to it, in order to survive a narcissistic abusive situation, you have to cease contact with that person. And oftentimes you have to cease contact with the friends, the family. If it's a job, sometimes you have to move jobs. Whatever you have to do to get away from those people that are targeting you, sometimes you have to make dramatic moves in your life to survive and to grow and to just get away from the abuse. There's no other way to do it. Look at this monkey. Look at this. Like, look at that. Do you want to live with that? I don't know about you. I don't want to live with that face coming at me every single day, right? So that's how you do it. You remove yourself from their path. They'll find someone else and let them have that other person. Protect yourself.